Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Miranda from my welcome to my bariatric journey. We're cooking, like we always are. I'm going to change things up a little bit. I'm going to start doing blog entries on Mondays as well as whenever I post a video. So when I post a video, my blog entry is just going to be the recipe. Then I'm going to have actual blog entries with my weight loss, my goals, all that kind of thing. Kind of a little bit more personalized. You can check that on my blog post. The links are down below. I'm also going to see if I can start uploading to TikTok and Instagram. I've never used those two platforms. I've been on Instagram a couple times. I'm not really that big on social media. We'll see. I know everyone's on all of these different social media places, so I'm going to try some new things and see how it works out. I might totally suck at it and it might not work, but we'll see, and I'll talk about it all in my blog as well. So you can definitely read about that in my blog post. So today, I'm going back to my Weight Watchers again. I'm not on Weight Watchers right now. I'm not affiliated with Weight Watchers, not sponsored by Weight Watchers, nothing like that. I just have a couple books from Weight Watchers that have a bunch of recipes in them that I've always kept. And they're these huge, big binders from the early 2000s that I got when I was with Weight Watchers. So I'm just trying a few recipes in there to see how good at bariatric they are. Now this one is it's not a vegan recipe. There's no meat in it, but there is goat cheese in it. I've never had goat cheese before, so this is going to be a new experience all around. So we're going to start off with, it's a stuffed mushroom recipe. That's what it's called. So it's stuffed portobello mushrooms. It says I need 4 mushrooms. I need an egg, baby spinach, goat cheese, some yogurt, and some fresh dill. Oh, this smells so good. So, funny story. The lady in the supermarket, my husband and I were going through the checkout with the dill. The lady's like, "Can I just keep a sprig of your dill, please?" And my husband at first thought she said Bill. So he was like, "A sprig of my bill?" It was really funny. Anyway, had to be there. But she wanted to keep the dill because it smelled so good. It's so aromatic, and I do love it. I'm never going to use this much, but this is the size it came in. So there you go. I'm not sure if you can actually replant this. I was actually thinking about that just a few minutes ago. I'm thinking, can I take some of the stalks and put them in water and have them live longer so that I can do another recipe with dill later? I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, so we're going to need some dill, some breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, basically, is all of it. So we're going to start this recipe off by preheating our oven to 400 degrees. You might have heard that beep. Mine is now preheated. I'm going to put these mushrooms in at 400 degrees for 5 minutes. So, and this is down, so stem side down for 5 minutes. We're trying to toast the top because when we stuff them, we're going to flip them over. So we want to toast the top first. So let's go ahead and put those in the oven for 5 minutes. And I actually have a timer right on my oven. Start. There we go. So 5 minutes, let's go in the oven. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to wilt down our baby spinach. And I'm only doing a half recipe. This actually calls for 10 ounces of baby spinach, which might seem like a lot, but it's not at all. This is 5 ounces, and it looks like a pretty big tub. But once I put it in the pan, and I start to wilt it down, you guys will see that it will be so small when we're done. You're going to be like, huh, what happened to all the spinach? Because spinach just wilts really, really well. So I'm going to go ahead and on medium heat, I'm going to wilt this down. It'll only take about 3 minutes. I'm just going to do that behind me here. So let's go there. All right, so I'm putting this on medium heat, which for me is between 5 and 6 on my gas stove here. And I'm just going to grab a spatula, nice wooden one from Peppa Chef. And we'll just let this wilt down. I didn't add any oil to this at all. The spinach should have enough moisture in it to basically wilt itself down. It won't need anything else. So it'll just be about 3 minutes while this wilts. All right, so any of you guys out there have any recipes you want to see? I'm really actually excited about that. I'd like someone to give me some recipe ideas. I'm seriously, it's really hard to come up with original recipes. I mean, if you've ever been on the internet, it is, obviously, it is full of recipes, just recipes everywhere. And I never seem to be able to find anything super unique, which is why I actually went back to all the cookbooks I have at home and looking for things that are more unique. And this mushroom recipe looked fairly unique to me. So I was like, okay, something new and unique. We'll try that for a bit, see how that works. But I'd love some ideas. Please, please, please post, comment down below. Let me know what ideas you have for recipes, what you want to see. I still have a soup that I actually posted a picture of a soup I made. I wasn't even planning on doing anything with it because it was just something I kind of made up off the top of my head. And everyone was like, ooh, that looks delicious. Can I have a recipe of that? Like my friends and stuff on Facebook. So I'm like, oh, I didn't realize. And apparently people want to see that. So I think I'm going to do that as my next video. But after that, I'm pretty stuck. Breakfast is like, what do we have for breakfast? Eggs? Okay, eggs. What else is there? You know, I'm pretty stuck. Anyway, I can keep just scouring the internet every week, which is totally fine with me. I don't mind doing that at all. I love it. I love finding the recipes, but I'd like your ideas as well. I'd like to see what everyone else wants to see, what everyone else wants to do. I think that would be just a great videos to have that are helping you, not just me and my journey and what I like. Because I like a lot of Mexican food and Italian food, and that's pretty much it. I don't really go out of those ranges of food. So I'd love to see your ideas and the kind of food you guys like. And give me some ideas anyway. As you can see here, it's only been on here for like a minute or so, and it's already wilting down pretty far. It's not heaped over the pan like it was. This is only 5 ounces. The original recipe calls for 10 ounces of baby spinach. So 5 is good. Now, if you want to, you can have, there is pre-wilted spinach. You can get frozen spinach. And as long as you leave it in your sink, in a colander, let it drain and thaw. And once it's thawed, you do have to squeeze out all the water. So just put it between some paper towels and just keep squeezing the water out of it, or a very, very clean dishcloth. As long as you squeeze out all the water, that's basically the same thing as wilting it down yourself. There's not a huge difference there. You still have the nice wilted spinach that you wanted. We seem to have timed this pretty well because this is going to be pretty much wilted by the time 30 seconds when this oven goes off. I'm not sure if this is working here. I decided to put my oven, as you can see, I'm set up a little differently. I decided to put my oven in the setup to see how it would look with having me cooking at the oven instead of walking away every time. I have no idea if this is a good idea or not. So you tell me. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Alright, so we'll just turn this oven off. We'll turn the timer off here. We're going to leave the oven on because we're going to bake it again, but we are going to pull that out. So here for my handy dandy grabber. Okay. Alright. So what's next in this recipe today? Okay, now we're just supposed to mix everything together, so that's fairly simple. So we're going to do the spinach, the goat cheese, which is, it has to be, it says crumbled, so I guess goat cheese is crumbly. Again, I've never had it before, so we shall see. Some breadcrumbs, yogurt, dill, salt and pepper, and then we're just going to stuff that in the mushrooms. Like I said, new setup. I don't have everything ready. I thought it would be interesting for you to see how I do things in my kitchen. You might not find it as interesting as I do, though. That's okay. If you hate it, just let me know. Grab a pair of tongs and hold this hot stuff down while I cut it. You never realize how much crap you have in your drawers, eh? Ever just open your drawer and go, when's the last time I used that? My goodness. As you can see, a lot of water is even draining out of these. And these were fresh spinach, so It's not just the frozen stuff that gets a lot of water in it, the fresh spinach as well. Once you wilted it down, all that water just comes out. Okay. All right, so that's all nicely chopped up. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of that water out. Not all of it, I just don't want it too watery. It doesn't say to do that though, so I assume it's not required. Okay, now it calls for 1 egg. So this is a room temperature egg. It's been sitting out at room temperature this whole time. Oops, drop that. And then it says half a cup of crumbled goat cheese. Now this is the only size of goat cheese they had. And half a cup of this will probably be about a quarter because it's 400 grams. So let's see here. Just going to get a cup measure. We shall see how that works. What is half a cup of crumbled? Oh wow, this is hard as a rock. Okay, it comes in little slabs. Look at that. That's amazing. And we'll just crumble it up. Oh, it's very easy. It's very crumbly. I wonder what it tastes like. You know I'm going to taste it. I mean, I love cheese, so I'm going to taste it. You have to be very careful after bariatric surgery what you're ingesting, I guess you'd say. And, you know, snacking while you're cooking isn't always a good idea. So I definitely don't recommend it. I would not, I don't normally snack while I cook because that would just cause me to gain more weight. I don't want to stretch out that pouch. So I only eat during my meals, not in between. Okay, so that's it for that goat cheese that I'm going to use. It was about a quarter of the tub. Which the tub left water all over my table here. Of course it did. Okay. It calls for breadcrumbs. Just give me a sec while I grab some breadcrumbs. Okay, everyone. Sorry about that. I'm back. So if you don't have any breadcrumbs, as I realize I don't, you can go ahead and just toast up some bread ends or whatever piece of bread you have, honestly. So I toast them up on the highest setting on my toaster until they're nice and crispy. And I put some salt and pepper and Mrs. Dash seasoning mix in here, just the original blend. Because it just said, in this recipe at least, it's asked for pre-seasoned. And then I'm just going to chop this up with a hand blender. Use a regular blender. You can use I used to have a really big coffee grinder that actually broke. There we go. That should be pretty good. Nice and blended up. So this calls for 2 tablespoons of the bread mixture, which is why I'm not too worried about how well it's mixed here, because I can just get those larger chunks out of the way and grab 2 tablespoons chunks from the bottom. So 1. Get the really big chunks out of my way. 2. Now I can also take this bread mix and save it. So I'm going to put that up. I'm actually probably going to put it in my blender for a little bit longer later. And then I'll put it in the fridge in a little container. And I can use it the next couple of days for something else that requires breadcrumbs. So it's not the same as store-bought breadcrumbs, but it definitely works in a pinch. Okay, what else is on the list here? So 2 tablespoons of the yogurt. So plain fat-free yogurt, it says. So this is actually the Skyr 0% yogurt. As I've said before, I really like the Skyr. It's nice and creamy without being having too much of that aftertaste of fat-free. I just never enjoyed that aftertaste myself. Then it calls for 2 tablespoons of snipped fresh dill. So I'm going to say that 2 tablespoons is probably going to be about that much. I'm just going to take this many sprigs and I'm just going to snip them. So what I'm doing is taking off the larger bits of stalk. You can snip them with your scissors if you want. I just find it easy enough to pull off the little sprigs. Okay. You don't have to be exact. If you like dill, add more. If you don't like dill, don't add more. Don't add any if you don't like dill at all. It's totally up to you. I personally love dill, especially in potato salad, macaroni salad, and all the salads I can't have. They're not really salads. They're more huge amounts of carbs is what they are, but whatever. Dill is a great thing for summery salads, picnicky salads. I think it's going to be really great, and it brightens things up. That's a really nice bright flavor to things I really enjoy. I like pickles. I like pickle flavored things. Pickle flavored popcorn. Pickle flavored chips are good. Again, can't have those, darn. Make sure you're not getting any of those little stem bits in there. The larger stem bits aren't needed for this recipe, or for any recipe really. You know what? I think that looks like about 2 tablespoons now. That's good. There's my 2 tablespoons of dill. Fresh dill, very fresh. Oh, sticking to me because it's so fresh. It says salt and black pepper, so it calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of each salt and black pepper. I'm just going to eyeball it because that's how I cook, but feel free to measure. There we go. Okay, so that's it. So now we just got to mix all this together with that egg, get it all combined. It's definitely going to be creamy. Just making it very green in here between the spinach and the dill. Oh, it smells so good though. It smells just like pickles. It smells like I'm making pickles. The dill is very, very fragrant. Okay, so there you go. This is what it looks like all mixed up. Very, very nice. Now we're going to put that into our mushrooms. So let me grab those mushrooms. They've been sitting out of the oven for a few minutes now. It just says to flip them over and stuff them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, oops, I broke this one. I'm going to grab the stems out of them. I think it doesn't actually say that at all in the recipe to take the stems out, but stems are kind of in the way. So I'm going to go with the taking the stems out part. Okay. So now we're just going to divide this. Actually, I was only making half of the recipe because this isn't enough mushrooms for the whole recipe. So I'm just going to divide this in half and then put 1/4 of each half into each thing, I think. 1 stuffed mushroom. 2 stuffed mushrooms. Don't lose your cheese. 3 stuffed mushrooms. Oh yeah, and there's still plenty left for more. My husband and I love it. We'll have it again later in the week. And there we go. So this is going to go back into that 400-degree oven and cook again for about 15 minutes or until the entire mixture is heated through and bubbly. See you guys in 15 minutes and we'll see how that turns out. All right, guys, so there's about 15 seconds left on the mushrooms. I'm going to take them out, and we're going to be the first ones to see them. I did some reading while they were in the oven just to make sure, and the little black part inside of them is totally edible, and it's fine that I left it in there. A lot of people do clean them out. They're called gills, like a fish. It's weird, but anyway. A lot of people do clean them out, but you don't have to. They're only cleaned out for aesthetic reasons, not because they're bad for you or anything. They're perfectly fine to leave it. So the recipe I had didn't say to take them out, so I didn't. All right. They're just little itty bitty ones. Look at that. Okay, so look at those. Very good looking. Get a plate here. I got no small plates. What's up with that? Okay, I'll get a bowl. Deal, and I will serve myself one, and we'll see what they taste like, everybody. I know you're dying to see what they taste like. I know I am. They look different, that's for sure. Let's take the two smallest ones here for me. Get out of the way. And there you go. That's what they are. That's what they look like. Okay, so I guess we just dig right in. That goat cheese is all nice and brown and crisp looking. Lots of vegetables and nutrients in this. Definitely without all that fattiness from meat, which is a really good thing to keep in mind, especially on bariatric diet. Now just make sure you're taking your small portions. I'll probably only eat one of these. Make sure you're taking your small portions and not overdoing it on anything, but let's try this. It just smells like dill. It's all I can smell. Yeah, that's really good. The goat cheese is very cheesy and makes it very creamy. The goat cheese and the egg in there kind of all mix it together really well, and the yogurt, and then you've got the mushroom itself, which is almost like a bread on the outside, I guess. It's just like a base for it, like a crust. It's almost like a spinach pizza with a crust. It's really, really good. Actually, these toppings would probably be really good on a flatbread or something, but I really enjoy them on the mushrooms. So that's it. Yeah, they're absolutely delicious. They were wonderful. Don't worry about the gills. It's okay to leave them on. They won't hurt anything. They're not bad for you or anything like that. You can take them off for aesthetic reasons, though, if you don't like this black look around the edges. And that's it. That's the recipe, guys. This was a really good one. I'm glad I tried something new. Again, leave your comments below with your ideas for recipes. I really like some ideas so I can try some new things, some different things than the kind of food that I'm used to. Like I said, I'm mostly Mexican, Italian. I like my pastas and my quesadillas and my tacos and my anything wrapped in a tortilla. Like, that's me. That's all me right there. And then everything else is just new territory. So this was definitely new territory, and I'm glad I tried it. Thanks so much. Have a great evening, everyone. Bye.